Before applying gloves and wraps, wash hands 20 seconds. Dry hands, alcohol hand gel, rub in and wait to dry. I'm going to show you now how to bandage your hands using a couple of different things. So we've got hand wraps, obviously, we need those. We also have nitrile gloves and white cotton gloves. Nitrile gloves are often used in the prison service because of the risk of hepatitis A and reduce the risk of spread of Hep A as a result of that. Now, what you can do is you can put this on first. These, however, are uncomfortable to wear inside of gloves. So put these things on first, but then what you can do is you can bandage over the top of these. The same thing applies, of course, that we always pull the thumb back to the wrist, never down into the hand, always bandaging your hand with your hand facing down, very important. Go around the wrist, this is where we can be sensible. If you suffer more with your wrist, bandage more around your wrist. If you suffer more with your knuckles, like I do, bandage more around your knuckles. Go around here between 2 and 3 times and then go to the far knuckle here, okay? Go around here and keep your fingers apart. This is really, really important to do this. If you don't have your fingers apart, when you come to making a fist, if you do this with your fist, I'll put my hand in front of the camera. When you do this, a little bit of flesh squeezes out of here and here just at the last minute. Now, my hand is bandaged in this position here. When I come to make a fist, that will exert force on the outside of the bandage, and what will happen is the middle knuckle here is going to pop up. Now you're going to find, and this is quite common actually, that people will come to you and say their middle knuckle is killing. This is what they're doing wrong. There are other videos of ours on the internet, so go and check them out as well, because that will explain that in much more detail. Make sure that you've got your fingers apart, very important. Go around there between 2 and as many as 6 times. I think if you're going to go around 6 times, you need to get yourself another pad to go in here. Like part of an old sock works very well for that. Now from that position there, I then go back across here. Now what I've done there is I've actually created an X across the back of my hand. One way there, and then from here, there. This creates an X across the back of my hand, and then finish off the bandage around the wrist. Now the purpose of that X when I do that is that when I make that fist, that is going to tighten up and give me lateral support this way. This pulls my thumb out of the inside of my hand like that and keeps my hand nice and steady there. It keeps the thumb outside so that the scaphoid bone doesn't align with the radius bone in the arm. So it reduces the likelihood of that breaking. Turn over, pinch this, because you want to make this a bit smaller so that you can get your hand around the grip bar in the boxing glove. And there you are, you have your hand wrap. Now I'm also going to show you another version. Version number 2. You can repeat the exact same process using a white cotton glove. However, let's use a little bit of common sense here, and what we can do is we can actually put the white cotton glove on first. Then apply the nitrile glove over the top. Now, one of the worst things about these nitrile gloves is the feeling of sweat gathering around your hand. This white cotton glove is actually going to absorb an awful lot of that sweat. Now, the nitrile gloves need to be thrown away after use. The white cotton gloves can be put in your washing machine, put them in at 60 degrees and it'll kill pretty much everything on there. Then once again I apply my bandage. Now this time I'm going to film this from your perspective, so over the top of my shoulder. It's all very well you looking at me bandaging my hand like this, but really the perspective is going to be of you looking over my shoulder. For those of you that are teaching in classes, they should bandage their hands up before they come to class. They do their own hands. For those of you who are doing personal training, then in this case, then you should be bandaging your PT client's hands up. This is creating the bond between you, the trainer, and them, the fighter, if you like. When I'm wrapping hands up for fighters before a fight, this is one of the bonds that is going to be created between us. And when we put our hand wraps on, there's a psychological state of mind that the boxer then needs to adopt, that it's game time. So applying the wraps is something that can be symbolic and it can be ritualistic. But certainly for myself, when I was boxing, when I put the wraps on, it's time to focus on what's going on. So now I'm going to turn around and you can watch this from behind. Okay, so I'll get that in shot there. Now, once again, we pull this back to the wrist. And then we go around here like this. One thing I should have mentioned before is how tight does this need to be? Finger and thumb. Pinch it as tight as you can. And do that and let it pull through. What you shouldn't be doing is pulling hard like this, because it will cut off the blood supply. So bandaging with a hand facing down, again there. You'll notice that I don't line up the edges of the bandage because this is not a neatness competition. I'm trying to spread the load. Keeping my fingers apart, I then go around to the knuckles, there, like that. And I go around there once, and then I make a fist and check that that knuckle is not popping out. So I'm happy with that. So I continue. Then I create the X across the back. Can you see that X there? I create the X, and then I finish off with my bandage around there. Then I turn over and pinch. Make that as small as I can there, because that will help me get around the grip bar in the glove. There we are, 2 different versions of hand wraps. Now, I'll take the gloves off and I'll do this facing the camera, and I'll do this at what I would consider to be normal speed. Quick way to get your hand wraps off actually is just to turn them like this. It's quite effective. Now, not everybody is going to be using these for hygiene, not forever, but I think it's important to mention this during this time where COVID-19 is circulating, that increased hygiene is a must. Okay, I'll do this much quicker now. There. Thumb in like this, palm facing down. We go around there. Then we go over to the knuckles. To do this and to get good at this is going to take you about a month, maybe slightly more of practicing, but it is an absolutely essential skill in order for you to be able to do this for your clients. There we go. An absolutely essential skill. Now let's talk just briefly about the fact that people do use the quick wraps, and some of them are good, some of them are not. In fairness, wrapping hands is a skill that you need. If you're a trainer, you need this skill. So don't take shortcuts. Learn to do it, and learn to do it well, because it's an important skill that all boxing coaches should have.